All right, today we are going to react to somebody that names himself Killer Mike, and he seems to be a rapper slash activist kind of guy. I actually never heard of him before this whole thing started with the Rick Chow case, and we're going to react to some things that he said. So just dive into it. This is your favorite half Chinese, by the way. I also have a buy me a coffee for the people that want and can donate to my work. The link will be in the description. Let's roll it.
I was beat up by a lot of the stuff that I saw. In my lifetime, I've seen a black girl be accused of stealing an orange juice and an Asian woman kill her. Latasha, yeah. And I remember the world going crazy. And now as a 51-year-old man, I saw a black child, South Carolina, walked out of a store. When confronted, showed I don't have anything. Chased out of that store and shot in the back and killed by a population of people who, since immigrating to this country, have quietly built the number one or two, house incomes through having ownership of stores in our community. And nothing has changed. That man was let off the case, and it just gets difficult.
All right, there's a couple of things. First of all, I want to express my condolences to the parents and the family of this kid. However, there's a lot of things that Mr. Mike, I'm not going to say that Killer Mike. I mean, he says he's 51 years old. You shouldn't be having a name like that, especially not when you are trying to represent or be an activist for your community. This is not a good look. But besides that, what he says is not completely true. He says that the person has been let off. That's not true. The person has been found not guilty, right? By a jury. A jury of, I believe it was five black people and 5 white people, and 2 that one was unknown and the other one wasn't named or whatever. The race, that is. So even their own people, Rick Chow actually had all against them. All odds were against him, yet they find him not guilty. So it's not like there's some magical because he is an Asian or whatever, therefore they let him go. No. Another thing is that Mr. Mike doesn't clarify is that this little kid, unfortunately, had a gun on him. And I explained it in my other video. What I think that happened is because he had a gun on him, he did not want to show his pockets because the gun would be shown. And if he would show the gun, obviously he is scared that they might phone the police and then he will get in trouble because the kid is 14 years old. The kid was not that innocent, because if we go and look after to that video, it looks very much like he is stealing. Now I have it right here, and you can see that he is here in the red, right? He's having those bottles, taking it out. Let me see if I can put it on. And for her, from that side, to see it, looks like he is stealing, right? Now, to be fair, he put back those bottles. But maybe from her side, she could not see that and thought maybe he put another bottle in his pocket or whatever. Then they walk, then he walks back to the door, want to pick up his bag, and then she is behind, tells him, show me that you didn't steal anything, right? Oh, that's and that is actually how it went. And then he just showed like this, I don't have anything. But I think, if he didn't have a gun, then he would just zip open and like, okay, search me. I don't have anything, search me, right? But because of having a gun on him at 14 years old, obviously it's not legal. That I mean, even in the United States, where in certain states you are allowed to carry a gun, 14 years old you're not allowed, right? That's nowhere in the United States, or somebody must correct me. So that is the whole entire problem already. Did the kid want to steal? Yes or no? That's we don't know. He didn't have money in his pocket. That's one thing that's for sure. It seems that he did have that gun on him. So that might be a reason that he took a run for it. And that is when the son went after him and the dad went after the son. And this is how the chase became. Then he lost some stuff along the way, a shoe, and I believe threw his backpack or whatever. And then he pulled out a gun, according to what the court and what the witnesses said, right? So once he pulled out the gun, then the son got scared, obviously, and I don't remember exactly what he said to the father, or maybe warned him like he got a gun or whatever. And then the father pulled out his gun and shot the kid. It's a very tragic story, and I'm not saying that, oh yeah, that is a good reason to no, because I'm always anti-violence. As I also stated in my other video, I would have taken the kid. I said, if you want to have a water, you can just ask me. If you're thirsty, I will give it to you. It's just one bottle, but just do not come to my shop to steal, right? I would just honestly tell him like that, and maybe even offer him a small job, right? I mean, go and wash some cars. It's a gas station, right? You want to wash some cars? Go ahead. Here's a bucket, and charge some people. I will train you to learn how to earn money on a legal basis, because obviously his community and parents didn't. And that is my other thing. The problem what I have with this, I'm not saying that this is the Rick Chow acted correctly. Definitely not, right? I think the way that I would handle it would be more appropriate. But we cannot deny the circumstances under which this all happened. And the reason why we cannot deny it, if you really care about this kid, right, then turn this tragic event into a positive event to use this bad situation as a learning moment so it will never happen again. So we can teach the other kids how to behave in a way that this will never ever happen. Why is it a failure of the community? He was showing guns on his social media. That's not normal behavior of a kid. And when it's on social media, you will not be telling me that his parents or nobody in his community knew about this. And why didn't they talk with him? Why didn't they do something about it? Because everybody knows that if you are carrying a gun, it never goes well, especially when you are a small kid, right? You might get in a situation with somebody else. You pull out a gun and you shoot somebody, and you go. Your entire life is wasted, right? Why would you want that for a kid? If you really care about your community, why did nobody in his community say something about it and teach him this? Why didn't his parents say it? Why did nobody, if his parents didn't know, why did nobody go to his parents and say, hey man, I saw your son with guns on his social media. This is not going to end well. Because if he pulls it out and shoots somebody, his life is ruined. But if he pulls it out and somebody else feels threatened and therefore shoots him, like what happened in the Rick Chow case, according to the court, then his life might be ended like it actually did. We have to be fair here. I have the feeling that Mike wants to make it until like they're the victim. It's not a black and white story. It's not like the kid just went in there, wanted to buy something, didn't buy it, and then went out and nothing, and then the people just chased him and just shot him out of nothing. No, the situation wasn't like that. Because that gas station also had a whole blacklist of people stealing from them from that exact same community of people that look exactly like Mike and also might have other additional names to their Mike, like this Mike has, and also would behave in a certain way, maybe like thugs. Like they emulate the drill rappers that they admire so much. This also causes in the mind of Rick Chow and his family, like, hey man, I'm fed up with people stealing. Does that give him the right to shoot somebody? No. But if you really want to solve the problem, you must be honest and say, okay, all these factors contribute to this situation, and you have to be honest about it. So what can we do about it to change it so it will never happen again? But no, Mr. Mike wants to blame it just on the Asians. Anyway, let's continue.
It gets difficult because, man, we as a people, if the world is not going to treat us differently, it starts to turn into, well, like your therapist would say, what can you control? Just yourself. Where's my accountability in this? It's not.
That's a good point, Mr. Mike. Where is your accountability? How many times do you need to steal from Asian stores until the Asian store owners get fed up with it and break? Because there is actually, what I think that was the overreaction of chasing him, which led to the event, which led to the death of a little kid. Where's your accountability that you say, hey, I mean, you're a rapper. I have not listened to your music, but I don't know if you are a drill rapper or a gangster rapper or whatever. But a lot of these songs are detrimental to the minds of little children and makes them believe that they need to carry a gun at the age of 14. Would he be in this situation if he didn't have a gun? I think he wouldn't, because he would be like, hey, search me. But he didn't want to let him search. And you can say, well, it's his right. Yeah, it's his right, but, bad things might happen. And they did. And this is not an excuse, but let's be clear with the whole entire picture if you are sincere in solving a problem.
Not enough to just hate the other person anymore. It's not enough to just hate the Asian store and burn them down and boycott them. And I do think all of that. I'm at a point now where I'm just like, enough. We can't with y'all. Y'all don't. And it's
all right. So he is thinking of burning down stores. Killer Mike got like 284K subscribers. And he's saying on his platform, is that's what I think. Burn them all down because I don't F with them. And because they don't F with us. So let's just be honest here. So what happens when you have a store in what you call the hood? And what Mike would call their hood, although they don't own it. And then every single time, people from your community, and I'm keep saying it, most of them are good, but there's a small part that is destroying everything for the others. So you come into the store every single time and you're trashing it, you're stealing it, you're robbing it, and you take the lives of other Asians. Because let's be fair, if you look at the statistics of who is taking whose lives more, then it is the black community taking more lives of the Asian community than the other way around. Way more. So you're creating this impression and the fear instilled in the Asians once you start with your thuggish behavior, which will, if in an event when something escalates, will drive the Asian more faster over the top than not. Because in their mind, they will be fighting for their life. Because again, the lives taken of Asians by the Black African community is way more than the Asians taking lives of Black African community. All right? The violence towards the Asian community by the Black African community is way more than the other way around. The crimes committed against is way more again. So all the statistics will tell you that it is the Black African community versus the Asian community. What you should be saying is, why do we not stop that behavior so they will view us in a different light? That is what we call accountability. And I'm still not saying that that is the correct way, because I already told you what I think that should have happened. But this is not taking accountability. This is using your platform to create hate. Telling that, oh yeah, I think of it like burning them down. And then one of the people that follow you is like, oh yeah, it might be a good idea. And he might burn down a shop. And then you think that we as Asians would look to you like, oh, in a different way. That's the whole situation is because of escalation on escalation on escalation. And now you want to escalate even more. But at the same time, you want to have a different outcome. What?
Obvious. And we are put in a position by a bigger master to be taught not to with each other. So you as the model minority always see us as beneath you. And yet you need us because you could never put a store in the master class's neighborhood.
That actually is not true. And I don't know why he's talking like this. I think it's the weirdest thing. In the Asian community, nowhere in the world we're talking about a master class. While he's talking about the master class, he's talking about the white population in the United States, the Europeans. I think, honestly, Mike, if you see this video, and don't take it the wrong way, I think you need to decolonize your mind. Or you are free, man. Why you still have a slave mentality? Honestly, yeah, you need to work on that. Other than that, it is not true what you say. The most stores of Asians are not in the poorer areas. So it's totally not true. And even if it was, right? So he wants to make the point that because you all earn so much money on us, you owe us. No, that's not how it works in business. How it goes in business? I sell this in the store, the razor, right? The electric shaver. And you are interested in it, and I give you a good price, what you think is a good price. Then you buy it, and then you leave, and you will shave every morning happily with the shaver that you bought from me. I don't owe you anything. You don't owe me anything because you already paid for the shaver, and I already gave you the product. What exactly do I owe you? I hear this a lot of times from the American Black African community. The Asians owe us because they have businesses in our communities. The community isn't yours. America is a free country, right? And people are allowed to live everywhere they want, right? People are allowed to open their shops everywhere they want, right? So how come all of a sudden it is yours? Is the block yours? You bought it? Most of the people living there don't own it. So the Asian person worked hard for it, saved its money, opened up a store on what you predestined as your neighborhood while you don't own it. And all of a sudden, this Asian guy who already worked hard and saved up his money, etc., struggled to open the store, owes you? That's insane. So let me ask you, if I see a commercial of KFC. If KFC is in your neighborhood, Do they also owe you? Are you saying the same of Popeyes, Wendy's, McDonald's? No, right? Are you saying the same of Nike? Because a lot of the Black African community, you guys love Nike. Does Michael Jordan owe you? I never hear anybody of you like, hey, Michael Jordan owes me because, hey, man, I got four pairs of Jordans and my neighbor got 5 and this one. I mean, seriously, why is it always only the Asians that owe you? This way of thinking is just beyond me. The people have worked hard. They struggled. They saved their money. While your people did other things with their money, like buying expensive Nikes, expensive cars, expensive jewelry, because they want to look fresh and bling bling, right? That's fine. But that is also the cause that they were not able to save up money to open the store in what they call their neighborhood. The Asian guy didn't do none of that. Worked. Maybe 2-3 jobs. Save every single penny. Eating noodle soup at home. And if they work in a restaurant, they eat at the restaurant, saving every single penny. And when they finally have saved up enough, they borrow a little bit more and they open a business. And then you are saying that they owe you? What have you done for them? Nothing. They did it all on themselves. Right? Let's be fair here. It's the mindset of that Asians owe the Black African community is just as ridiculous as saying that the Black African community is owing the Asian community because, hey man, you eat in my restaurant. I've been feeding you. No, you have been paying me to feed you. Right? You gave me money. I gave you food. It was a transaction. There's nothing that we owe each other after that transaction. Please.
And if we won't unite against them,
we won't unite for ourselves.
Yeah, but if we won't unite, I mean the Asians and Black against the master class, then we can no longer y'all. Because it's just not working. It's not working where you can hunt down a child and they let you get away with it 2 times in my lifetime.
Come on, Mike. Come on. Stop the show. First of all, the kid wasn't hunted down. That's a ridiculous statement to make. Second, your own people, 5 of them, which were on the jury bank, acquitted Rick Chow based upon the evidence provided. The other ones were white. Rick Chow had everything against them. What you should be doing is protest the court. I mean, why you are attacking an entire Asian community on something that's literally they have nothing to do with, first of all, and they also have no influence on the outcome. But your own people had, but I don't see you boycotting them. I mean, seriously, they all unanimously acquitted him. And here you are giving crocodile tears about this kid. And again, it is very tragic that this story and this event happened. Definitely. But Mr. Mike, did you also cry crocodile tears for the other 14-year-old boy that was shot in his back with 2 bullets by 2 other black people? Yeah. And that boy was just walking over the street. He was not in a shop trying to steal. Or maybe, like, I don't know if the kid wanted to steal or not. I cannot look in his brain. But it did look like it because he didn't have money and he just pulled out these things. So it might be. He was pacing around looking. This was the whole incident how it started, right? It might also be like, oh yeah, maybe he just thought about it that he didn't have money and wanted to put it back and then leave. That's also a possibility, right? But you can imagine that if you look at the video, that for the lady standing from the back might be look like, oh yeah, you did put something in your pocket. That's the whole where the whole problem started. So it is not an event like, oh, they just started for nothing to chase him and took his life and chased him like and hunt him like, no. But there are several cases where people from the Black African community did that actually to Asians, just out of nowhere, and took their lives. Why was there no sound from Mr. Mike? Like, hey man, if you do that, if we keep doing that to these Asians, they're going to perceive us as highly aggressive and extremely dangerous people that want to take their lives. And once somebody is making the wrong move, they're going to jump on us because they are in fear of their life. Right? Just like when the kid was running away, he pulled out a gun. Maybe he wanted to throw it away. I don't know. They said he pointed it backward to them, and this is how he got shot. But anyway, if you are pulling out a gun and somebody else has a gun and they're in fear of their lives because they know that these people are capable of taking the lives of others, also at this young age, then they might pull the trigger on you. And that is exactly what happened. It has been proven in court. So to misconstrue this whole entire event is just weird. But let's continue.
We should be finding you.
That's tough. I believe in eye for
what
eye,
we
though.
should be doing. Not saying what we're going to do. In my
Meaning the
lifetime,
thought comes up.
I am aware of the Arab struggle and the Palestinian struggle because in my lifetime, I have seen men strap bombs to themselves to say, you will pay this attention. And I'm telling this country, you're coming to a point of crisis with a group of people who, right or wrong, we're here. We're part of the fabric. We have nowhere else to go. But if you're training groups of people to see us as beneath, if we're participating in that stereotype due to circumstance, this is what we know. That young man had a firearm on him, not to resist the oppression of the state, not to use to rob or take from that store owner, because he's in a condition where he knows someone else who looks like him could see him as a predator or prey, and he may have to use it. But he was not trying to use it against that store owner. He was in flee from that store owner, and he was killed by that store owner because that store owner knows I can use an excuse. He scares me. But
So-
your wife followed him through the store. Your son followed him out that store, and you tracked him down like an animal. People can only take so much. And
But I have a question.
That's just a ridiculous statement to say that you can think for somebody else. First of all, the kid was showing these guns on his social media, right? And I believe that Mike said that he would be afraid for people looking like him. Does he mean that African American? Then you have a problem in your community if your own people, little kids, feel the need to carry a gun because they're afraid of their own people. Maybe it is because there are certain people that want to portray an image of a killer. Mike? There's no lights that's going to burn in your head like, yeah, maybe we should change something in the community then, that our kids will feel safe. I mean, seriously. You don't want to have children that feel safe to go outside and play like whatever it is that kids play or should be playing with. instead of they feel the need to carry a gun. Why would he be feeling that he need to carry a gun? And how do you know that he didn't want to have it for other purposes? You know what he was doing? He was acting like these drill rappers, flashing on social media. The dumbest thing that you can do. And nobody in your community said anything. So if he was actually doing that, then you can be almost sure that he idolized a certain lifestyle that is being portrayed by these drill rappers. And I don't think I need to explain more about it. And if the people don't know what drill rap is, then just Google it. I mean, seriously. It is all about committing crimes, gangsters. Not gangsters, because they're not gangsters. These gangs, they're punks. Honestly, they're punks. Gangsters don't move that way. It's an insult that they call themselves a gangster. They're punks. They're just little kids running around, never grow up. Just trying to be thugs. It's just weird behavior. And that is what keeps a lot of these people behind. And that is what is costing a lot of black kids their lives because of that. But Mike never want to discuss that. I mean, seriously, if you really want to solve the problem, look inward first. Like, why do people perceive you in a certain way? And I don't agree with that. But we must also understand that even if you don't agree with, if people would perceive anybody like it, that the likelihood that it happens is very high. So what are you going to do about it? Well, Mike, you have a platform of 284K subscribers. You could give a real positive message. Maybe make a rap song. You're a rapper, right? Maybe make a rap song that committing all these crimes and killing others isn't cool. Maybe change your Killer Mike into Saint Mike. Or Changed Mike. Maybe you can tell them, I don't know your history. Maybe you were living in the hood. Maybe you were a gang member or not. Maybe you can tell them, this is not the way to go. Use your platform. Use your influence to change their lives in a positive way, or to influence their lives in a positive way, instead of creating a feeling of them being hunted down by Asians. While if we look at the statistics, we could actually say it's the other way around. Yet we as Asians don't even talk in that way.
Right? And it's not even to play devil's advocate. This is something I've seen in Minister Farrakhan's message to the black men's seminar speech that he gave. And he talked about how we're viewed, how the images, he talked about colors and boys in the hood, and the image, and then he talked about with hip hop and music, and now we look at social media, how we are allowed, we put out these messages, right? And if I'm somebody, because I'm a person who I am against police brutality, but I don't truly believe that all police that kill like black people are racist. I think it's out of fear. So then when you look at an Asian person who kills a black person, there's racism mixed in there, but there's also fear because of the images that if I'm sitting here and I see a person, it can look like whatever, but every time I see this person in this image, I don't deal with this person on a daily basis. Only thing I deal with by what I see on the movies, by what I see on social media, and every time I see this person, it's this, and this, and it's this degenerative behavior, right? And this is what I'm consuming. Now, when I interact with this person, this is what I think that I'm going to get, right? So at what point, at what responsibility do we have in the images and in how others view us? You know what I mean? Like,
okay, well, he got a valid point. There's only one thing that's very, very wrong here. So Yes, it is. It is indeed like how you portray yourself, especially outside in the public eye. Right? You have a lot of rappers with big names, etc. Mr. Mike also got a lot of subscribers. I don't know how this man, what his name is. Sorry for that, but he says this is what people see, right? They might see the drill rap, etc., etc. It's just not a good look for your own people, all right? Now, I'm not going to tell what the Black African community should be doing, but I'm telling you straight ahead, to portray yourself like that on screen with today's social media is just not a good look for you. And this man is right. Yes, people will start to perceive you in a certain way if they are continuously looking at you. Now, what he didn't say is that the Asians who have a store in those what they call low-income neighborhoods or the hood or the ghetto, right? Don't only see it on television or on YouTube or whatever social media platform they are also experiencing it on the daily basis. And of course, if the demographic in the area where they are is more Black African American, then more Black African Americans will steal from them, right? So if like 90% of the people that steal from you are from Black African American heritage, then you will have an eye more open on them, right? It's a normal thing. And if you are being attacked by Black African Americans all the time, then you will perceive them as more aggressive than if they wouldn't be attacking you all the time. So it's not just that it's not like, oh yeah, all these Asians they never experience anything. No, it's they experience it because again, the robberies, the murders on Asians by Black African Americans is way higher than it is the other way around. In certain areas in the United States, I believe I believe it was I don't know anymore in what year, 83%. I believe it was in San Francisco. 83% of the I believe it was the robberies or these kind of things done by the Black African community were on Asians. 83%. There was a rapper. I don't know what the name of that rapper is anymore. He made a song with a line in it, talking about robbing Asians, and that sparked the whole entire chain of robberies on Asians. I mean, just imagine you're an Asian person having a store in the hood. Every day, the people are stealing from you. Every day, there are people coming in your store, doing all sorts of ratchet things, right? And again, not all are like that, but it's going to be a little bit much at a certain point. And then you have the drill rappers rapping about literally robbing you. So to the credit to this gentleman that he says, yeah, we need to think about the image that we put out, but what he also should understand is that it's not just the image that the Asians have because of the screen. No, it's also what they see on the screen. It's also what they see happen in their own store and in their homes and when they walk back to home. When they get robbed, when they get beaten up, when they get all sorts of crap thrown to their heads. It's the truth. And that is a conversation that you also need to have, Mr. I don't know, with the older gentleman.
Like, we can't control the systematic racism. We can't control the political platform that Nancy. But we can control what we think, because Asians don't allow. Listen, they'll hold one of their own. Like, listen, you put this out on us, we gonna hold you accountable. You're not gonna make us look like this. So we look bad on it. So now when other people see it, they like, we don't see.
Who made that art?
I gotta give an example. I was when I was young, I was very well known in the Chinatown, so we could do a lot of things, right? And it's sitting in a restaurant, and I brought my little cousin with me. Uh, Actually, he's the little cousin of my ex from that time, and he was putting his leg up on the second ridge of the chair, right, like a tuck, right? And there was a elderly guy sitting in front of me. I just see him sitting like a tuck, so I hit him, bang. Yeah. He's like, "What?" I said, "Why do you sit like that?" He said, "But we can do whatever we want." I said, "Who is we?" This man earned it. I earned it. You have not earned anything. And look at how we sit, how decent we are, how much respect we are giving to the owner, and you are like this. That's true. Yeah, we hold people accountable. Just because we can do it doesn't mean you should do it. Very often I came into a restaurant and it was full of people, right? And they're like, "Oh, no, no, no. Don't worry about it. We will tell somebody to leave a little bit earlier." I said, "No, no, no. There's no need. No, we're going to give you a table. There's no need to give me a table. It's fine. I can come back later." I could also say, "Yeah, just throw somebody out because I want to eat." But you don't do that, because if you get the respect, you also will want to be respectful towards other people. Otherwise, very soon, they will see you in a very different light.
But I'm saying,
who made the
we're
art?
talking about today.
Who made the art?
We know who made
Who
that.
made the
we
art?
know who made it. We're
the art?
talking about today.
I'm looking at a tree. I'm looking at a tree today. What is that tree? That tree is bark. That tree is leaves, right? That tree rustles in the wind. Where's that tree?
It's in the ground.
Goddamn right. That tree starts before you ever see that tree. We're saying we're talking about today as though we don't know about that experiment with the monkeys, the CIA experiment. Look that one up, Ash. There's a CIA experiment where a group of monkeys is in a room.
Mm-hmm.
The group of monkeys is in the room, and there's a group of bananas at the
Well, this is the part what's just not relevant anymore to what my commentary was about. So in short, I think I don't see a lot of accountability. I do see it, and there are Black African Americans that are appalled by this kind of behavior. This is also how I found Mr. Mike, who is 51 years old, 2 years younger than me, and still using street names. Like, what? Even I don't use my street name anymore, and I'm appalled by all these kind of things. It is exactly the reason why I changed my life, and that is why I never glorify anything like this. And even my speaking, I had to teach myself to speak more decent, because what you reflect is also will reflect on your community. And then you are like with Killer Mike, because it you want to look so tough. I wonder how many people he killed. But for somebody who's carrying such a name with such a weight of so many people that follow you, and probably is a lot of young kids that will follow him, is just not sensible. And again, I don't know. I haven't listened to his music, so I cannot say what kind of things he's rapping about. But if it is about the same things like the drill rap, etc., and showing how cool it is, etc., then you are a part of the whole problem. Stop being so hateful to others, right? Because nothing of what you say makes any sense when it comes to that. You having crocodile tears about, I don't know who the girl was that he mentioned earlier, and then this guy. But did you also cry for all the tens or hundreds of other kids from your community all over the United States that have lost their lives due to people also that call them killer this or killer that, etc., and addicted to the drill rap, etc., and want to emulate and want to join gangs, etc. Yes, how many of those lives need to be lost before you're going to take the accountability for all that? We cannot deny that it is a huge part of those problems in the hood, your hood, of where you don't own anything. And he is talking about the Asians. I believe it is later in the segment about, oh, they're a model minority. Listen, my friend, we as Asians, we never ask for that. All right, it is not us who is saying we are the model minority. Because a lot of times, since I've been looking at these kind of things, I see Black African people, but they are a minority, a model minority. Therefore, they must behave in a certain way. Like what? We didn't ask for that. We don't even want to have that name. And you know why we don't want to have that name? Exactly because of this. And then you talk to us like, oh yeah, we look at you as you beneath us. No. But when I'm saying something like this, you feel like that maybe. But what you don't see is that actually from the bottom of my heart, I'm trying to help your community by telling you, hey man, this is what actually is going wrong according to my view. But you probably will be offended. And what I see a lot with those, I see that it is quite split in the Black African community. There is a small group that is always playing a victim and being righteous as hell, and there's a good part that is not. They just go about their day and they just want to grow, but they're the ones who don't have much of a voice because their voice is being overshadowed by the voices like this, blaming everything except what's happening, what we have created ourselves. How our community is going to be shaped and how we are going, this is what we have created. I mean, how you are going to be perceived. No, none of the Asians, I never ever heard an Asian say, yeah, we are a model minority. It always has been the others. And then they expect us to live up to that. No, you don't get to tell us, just like we don't get to tell you. It is ridiculous. Anyway, let me know in the comment section what you all think of this video. Became quite long. I just wanted to, talk about this because I think it is quite misrepresentation what Mr. Mike did here. And I hope this video also will reach him and gives him something to think about. No hate meant. It's just love. I mean, but you're gonna have to be honest at some point. Especially about the behaviors of some members of your community. It is giving a very bad look. And it's not just what you put out in the videos, etc., and not him personally, because, again, I have not seen his or listened to his music. But I used to be, I used to love gangster rap also, right? Especially in the 80s, 90s. It is not helping your community. It is literally destructive to your community. And a lot of times people don't want to hear it and they get upset and I want to do what I want. Okay, yeah, nobody is telling you that you cannot do what you want. But if you want to have a change, then you need to change. This is how I changed my life. I couldn't stay and stay and be that same person as I was like 20 years ago. And believe that I could become the person that I want to be today. I needed to give up a lot and change. It's okay. It is scary, but it's okay. You will do fine. So I hope this will reach you, and I hope that you will honestly change your mind because you have a big platform. You can do something really positive for your people. Change your mind, change your name from Killer Mike to Changed Mike, and start teaching your community with your big platform. Sorry, English is not my first language. and start teaching them they need to go to school. Pull their pants up, go to school. Teach them those Jordans are not life. It's not important. What's important is not what you have now. What important is what you can do later. So now you're going to struggle and put all the pieces together for when later that chance will arrive, you can take it. That is what you should be doing, Mr. Mike. I hope you will honestly will think about it. And I hope next time when I come on your channel, I will see a changed Mike who will tell its people to stop that behavior, because it is a cycle which will continue, a very negative cycle. And actually, almost nobody is profiting from it, right? And you should know, because most of the people in the music industry are just being taken from the back, right? Most of them don't make it. And a lot of them have trouble shaking the streets because somehow there's an image that you must be running in the street, running wild while pursuing a rap career. Teach them that it is about music and not about what you're doing in the streets. Because a lot of times you see these young kids, finally they have the breakthrough, and then the feds bust down their doors because of open cases. Just imagine those kids sitting in a cell thinking what they could have been, now facing 25 to life. Maybe, Mr. Mike, you can change one of their minds, and maybe you can set programs up that if you do not run the street, I will offer you studio times or whatever. I don't know. Think of something. And if you want, you can contact me and I will personally help you for free. Because if we can take children off the block, if we can prevent children to get into that life, then I'm all for it. And with that, I would like to ask everybody to like the video, share the video, and follow if you have not followed yet. And as always, have a great day. Your favorite half Chinese.